Hello everyone, welcome back to Miffy Chinese. Today we are going to break down the lesson 5 of HSK 1 of the standard new HSK course. Alright, before we dive into lesson 5, let's do a little review and check our homework for lesson 4. Describe the pictures using the newly learned words in lesson 4. First picture, 他家有6口人. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 people in his family. Second picture. 这是他的妈妈和爸爸. These are his mother and father. Third picture. 我儿子今年10岁. My son is 10 years old this year. Last picture. 我有一个哥哥 or 弟弟. I have a brother. If you want to say elder brother, it's 哥哥. If you want to say younger brother, it's 弟弟. Alright, how did you do? Did you get the homework all right? So now let's start lesson 5. The title of lesson 5 is 今天我休息. I'm off today. First, let's do a warm-up vocabulary exercise. So these are the keywords for this new lesson. Let's match them with the pictures. Option A, 2025年5月. You can probably guess it's the picture 1 because it has the number 2025 and number 5 in it. It's actually May of 2025. Option B, 星期一. You can also probably guess it's the picture 6 because it has the similar 汉字 in this picture. 星期一. This means Monday. Option C is number 4, picture 4. 电脑. So 电脑 means computer. And if we separate the two 汉字, 电 actually means electricity and 脑 means brain. So 电脑 actually you can translate into electronic brain. Option D, 做饭. This is picture 5. 做饭 cook. 做 actually means make, produce. 饭 means food or meal. So 做饭 means cook. Option E, 休息. 休息 means take a rest. So we match it with picture 2. The final option, option F, 饺子. You probably have tasted this Chinese food, more commonly known as dumplings in English. In Chinese, it's called 饺子. Picture 3. Okay, let's move on to the 语言点 and the language points of lesson 5. The first language point, we are going to learn some expressions of time in this lesson. Of course, time is a very big concept, and today we are going to focus on how to say which year, which month, which date, or which day of the week. Second language point is 名词谓语句, nominal predicate sentence. Okay, so let's break them down. First, let's see how to express a year, how to say a year in Chinese. Okay, so now let's pause a little and match the above years written in Arabic numbers with the down below years written in Chinese characters. If you remember how to say the numbers in Chinese, you can probably guess which one is which. Did you get the answers all right? Let's read it out loud with me. So the first one, 1874, is said 1874年1874年 1956 1956年1956年 And the last one, 2008 2008年2008年 Alright, so really, how do we express a year in Chinese? apparently we just have to read the numbers, the 4 numbers, one by one, and then add the word for year, 年. So now we learned how to express a year in Chinese. Now let's see how to say the month in Chinese. In English, every month has a different name, and in Chinese, it's much simpler. It's also just with numbers. So we have 12 months, and so we just use the numbers 1 to 12 to express them. And we add Chinese character for month, 月, afterwards. 月 actually also means the moon, which makes sense because every month more or less is a lunar cycle. Let's read the months with me. 1月 2月 3月 4月 5月 6月 7月 8月 9月 10月 11月 12月 Which month is your favorite month? Can you answer in Chinese? Last, let's look at how to say the days of the week in Chinese. We add the Chinese word week, 星期, before the numbers 1 to 6, and that's how we say from Monday to Saturday. Let's read them out loud with me. 星期一 星期二 星期三 星期四 星期五 星期六 Finally, there are 2 ways of saying Sunday. 星期日 or 星期天. There are absolutely no difference between 星期日 and 星期天. It's just a habit of speech. If you want to say 星期日, you say 星期日. If you want to say 星期天, you say 星期天. Alright, so when we put year, month, day of the week, all of these things together, what happens? In Chinese, there is a very common principle, and that is we move from bigger units to smaller units, always from bigger to smaller in this sequence. Not only applies with time, this principle, but it also applies with space. For example, when we want to say an address in Chinese, we start with the country, and then we move on to the province, and then to the city, and then to the street. So in terms of time, we start with the year, which is the biggest unit, and then the month, and then the day of the month, and then the day of the week. Look at these examples. 1992年5月16日 or 16号. So when we express a date of the month, we can say 日 or we can say 号. Not so much difference between 日 and 号, but I would say that 号 is more casual, more informal. And finally, we add 星期六, Saturday. So this translates to Saturday, May the 16th, 1992. The sequence is totally reversed in English, from smaller to bigger. But remember, in Chinese, we always start with the biggest and move on to the smallest. Next example. 2024年10月22日 or 22号 星期二 Tuesday, October the 22nd, 2024. Alright, so let's move on to the next language point, 名词谓语句, nominal predicate sentence. So in lesson 2, we talked about the basic structure of the Chinese sentences, and we said it's something like subject, predicate, and object. And in lesson 2, we said that we can start to understand the predicate as the verb. But today we are looking at another different structure of the Chinese sentence, and that is nominal predicate. or you can just understand it as the subject plus the predicate. And actually, predicate can be a verb, but it also can be a noun. In lesson 2, we focused on situations where the predicate is a verb, and here the predicate is a noun. We focus on situations where the predicate is a noun to indicate time, date, age, and so on. Let's look at the examples. 今天几号？今天5月1号。Here, the subject or the nominal is 今天, which means today. And the predicate is the expression of the date of today. First, the question, 今天几号? What date is it today? And then the answer, 今天5月1号. 5月1号 is the predicate, and it's also the expression of the date. The next example, 我妹妹12岁. Here, 我妹妹, my younger sister, is the nominal or the subject. 12岁, 12 years old, is the predicate and the expression of her age. So if you look at these Chinese sentences, there is no verb, but still it is a complete sentence because it has the nominal and the predicate. Alright, now it's time for the new words for text 1. Let's read them together. First, 今天, 今天, today. If we break them down, 今天, 天 actually means day or sky. Next word, 号, 号. So we explained before that it is used to express a date. But how generally means number, so actually you can ask people his telephone number or more commonly in China, WeChat number. WeChat is 微信 in Chinese, so you can ask, what is your WeChat ID? 微信号 WeChat ID. 微信号. Next word, 月, 月, month or moon. Next word, 日, 日. Another way to express a date, the more formal way. 星期, 星期, this means week. And if we add 日, 星期日, or we add 天, 星期天, they both mean Sunday. 星期日, 星期天. Next word, 休息, 休息, have a rest. And there is an extra word I added, 明天, 明天. This means tomorrow. Before we jump into the text, let's do a translation exercise together so we can do a very quick check on the grammar and vocabulary we just did. Look at the Chinese sentence and translate in your head. You can pause and then look at the answer. First sentence, 今天是9月8号. Today is September the 8th. 今天是2025年5月22号. Translation, today is May the 22nd, 2025. 明天是2024年8月18号, 星期天. Tomorrow is Sunday, August the 18th, 2024. Did you translate all right? Okay, so now let's look at the text. Read the text with us. 今天几号？
今天9月8号，
星期几？
星期日。今天我休息。